Welcome to the Big Picture Retirement Show, where you'll learn what it really takes to have a successful retirement. With over 20 years of experience, your host, Rick Rivera of Safeguard Investment Advisory Group, has seen it all and is here to help you achieve your retirement dreams. This is the Big Picture Retirement Show.
Welcome into the Big Picture Retirement Show, normally with Rick Rivera, but today a special guest. Kerrilyn Collins, the Marketing Director at Safeguard Investment Advisory Group, joins us today. We're going to learn more about Kerrilyn, but we're also going to learn more about what happens. We always give the number when Rick does the show, 800-700-1980. You've got questions. Boy, can I retire? Well, when can I retire? Do I have enough? Will my money last as long as I need it to? Will we be okay if we retire? We have all these questions, and we give you that opportunity all the time to call 800-700-1980, have a conversation with Rick and Reed and Eddie and the team, and try to figure out where you are on that road to retirement. So Kerrilyn is going to talk about kind of what you should expect when you come in. So kind of fun to have Kerrilyn on. Of course, you can always find out more about Rick and the team by going to safeguardinvestment.com, safeguardinvestment.com. 6 offices now all across California for Safeguard Investment Group. Kerrilyn will maybe clue us in on where all of those are. Typically, Rick and Reed are in the Corona office. Kerrilyn bounces around from office to office, and they got special things going on as the marketing director. So, Kerrilyn, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to join you guys. I know I booted Rick out, told him it was my time to shine.
Absolutely. We can't let Rick have all the fun all the time. He's old. He's done this for over 20 years. I mean, he's helped a lot of people with retirement. We need fresh blood on the radio show, so we're happy to have you. Hey, so I think a great place to start, Kerrilyn, would be kind of your background. How did you end up at Safeguard Investment with the team and your background, where you're from, college, and then how did you get here?
Yeah, I think that's one of my favorite stories, honestly. So I grew up in Portland, Oregon, came here for college. I went to California Baptist University in Riverside, studied public relations and marketing, and I graduated in 2020. So I had what I like to say a COVID graduation. Didn't walk on stage, but I have my expensive, trusty piece of paper that says I went to school. And after college, I freelanced for a little bit with a company, did website design and PR and marketing actually for local law enforcement agencies and small government businesses and organizations. And then in 2021, at the end of that year, I was ready for something different, ready to get maybe more to a 9-to-5, which is very opposite of what my generation is trying to do. We have a lot of people going anti 9-to-5, but I was ready for that stability and saw this job on LinkedIn and applied, and was honestly quite nervous because I didn't know what I was getting myself into, but it's been the best job and truly with the best people. I know I may be biased, but this is one of the best companies I think there is. So I love to be
you've
here.
got Reed Abedin is the managing partner. We do the show every week with Rick Rivera. Rick and Eddie Soda are partners of the team, but now you've got a lot of offices. You've got 6 offices. So Eddie is typically in the Sacramento office or Riverside office?
He's in Sacramento.
Oh, Sacramento. And then Reed and Rick are in Corona, but will go to other places, just like you as the marketing director for all of the offices, right?
Yes. So we actually have 3 advisors in our Corona office. One of our staff members, James, who's our chief compliance officer, is now a full-time advisor and is killing it. So, and he's been here for almost 20 years, I think. So we have Rick, Reed, and James in this office. I'm full-time in Corona, but I do travel for certain trainings or events or what have you to the other offices. I was in Sacramento last week. I was in San Diego last month. Been to Santa Barbara a couple of times. So it's been fun. It's a no day is the same.
So this is your 3rd year. Is that right, then?
Yes, I'm going into my 3rd full year. Been here since December of 2021.
So you think about, because I'm 64, so I am right in the wheelhouse of needing Safeguard investment advice, right? And being able to retire. I'm still working, so I'm still figuring all of that out. But what do you think is one of maybe the things you did not expect when you took this job that you really think is a pretty cool thing that Rick and the team at Safeguard Investment does for their clients? What stands out to you maybe about the company environment, how they help their clients?
Yeah, I mean, the financial industry for me was such a left turn industry that I never thought I would really work in. So all I know are, all I knew was the TV shows, the news articles, the Netflix documentaries of these financial guys. And when I got the job, I was like, wait, well, I hope I'm working with people who want to truly help people and aren't just looking for the next big deal or to make a dollar. And I was so shocked because when I started working here, I had no idea what a fiduciary was, independent financial advisor, none of that. And something that our financial advisors say is our goal is to make you a more informed consumer. And one of my favorite things about working for this company is truly, and it's not just us saying it, it's we're living it day in and day out, that we do care so much about our clients and our prospective clients. I see these advisors and our staff. We want to help you in whatever that looks like for you. So we've had prospects come in and meet with Rick, Reed, Eddie, Andy, whoever it may be. And we say, hey, you're actually doing a great job on your own. I don't know how much more I could help you. And rather than trying to get the money or the deal just to get the deal, they let them go and give them whatever advice they may have for them. But it's not always about trying to get all these clients and get all the money. And I like that because I think we're in a world now where there's a lot of selfishness. There's a lot of business people that are just hungry to take advantage of others and get money. And these people have worked their entire lives to build something. And we've seen clients get scammed. And to know that we're on the good side of this fight, sometimes it feels good coming into work and being a part of that.
I would think. I mean, you think about a lot of the there are, I suppose, bad advisors, but basically you've got stockbrokers, insurance agents, retirement planners. There's so many different types of financial advisors out there. The Safeguard investment team is about retirement planning. How can they help you with income, right? You got to replace the paychecks are no longer coming in. What about investments? Are you situated the right way? Are you retired and still have 100% in the market? Might be right for you, but more than likely you probably shouldn't have it all at risk when you get to retirement. But everybody's situation is unique, and that's how Rick and the team look at it. What about taxes? We know taxes are going up. How do we handle that? Should we move some money into the Roth world? Don't know until we have a conversation. Healthcare, long-term care, super, super expensive. And the longer we're here, the more healthcare we're probably going to have to spend money on. And then legacy planning. How do we leave things? And then you think of just Social Security and Medicare. So many decisions to be made. The team at Safeguard Investment can walk you through your situation. Everything's unique to you, your hopes and dreams, and how much income you need. And are you going to travel? You're not going to travel? What are you going to do? How are you going to spend your time? Hopefully you're not retiring. You're retiring from a job that you have had, but you need to retire to something that gives you something to live for. And Rick and the team would love to do it. Rick says this all the time. Give him 45 minutes, and he guarantees you that he will give you 2 ideas that will enhance whatever it is you are currently doing. Maybe you already have won the game. He doesn't know that till you reach out. But if you are, he's going to tell you that. If he can help you, he will tell you that. Hey, I think you're a great fit for our firm, they will tell you that. At the end of the day, it's your decision. It's your retirement. Again, that number to chat with the team at Safeguard Investment Advisor Group is 800-700-1980. Totally complimentary. 800-700-1980. So, Kerrilyn Collins, Marketing Director at Safeguard Investment Advisor Group, joining us today. Kicked Rick out of the booth. You're out, Rick. We don't need to hear from you this week. We'll get back to you next week. But as a marketing director in an investment firm, who are you marketing to? What are some of the jobs that you have to undertake?
Yeah, well, I am someone who wears many different hats in this firm. We are really marketing to those people who are about to retire or already retired, and anything that is outward facing goes through me, whether it's the seminars you attend, the paperwork you receive at the seminars, the YouTube videos you watch, the photo of Rick's face on whatever streaming platform you're listening to this podcast on. Anything that is visual or print produced comes through me. And the main goal is to really streamline the messaging that is talked about every week on this podcast. And what we're talking about today is helping these pre-retirees and retirees be able to really protect and live off of what they've spent a lifetime creating. And one thing that you mentioned that I think really is unique and sets us apart is that people will ask us, well, how much does it cost to go to a first meeting when they're setting an appointment at these workshops or calling us from the radio show? And it doesn't cost anything. This first meeting isn't a sales pitch talking about products, trying to get you to hand us over your wallet, write a check. It's really just getting to know you. What are you like? What are your interests? What's your lifestyle? What are your goals for retirement? And does your retirement plan, are your investments, is your income strategy, is your risk level, all of that pointing to that plan, or are there adjustments that we need to make? So whether you're going to an investment advisor that's trying to just make sure your portfolio is good, or you're going to a life insurance to buy an annuity, we're going to do all of it and work with your tax preparer and your estate planning attorney to make sure that you are truly set up in the most efficient way moving forward, not only for your lifetime, but also giving to your heirs or a charity when you pass away, which I think is really unique. And I like to say we're like a one-stop shop that actually cares about you as a person.
Yeah, and it's a unique environment, I think, and it's non-threatening. We're certainly going to talk about that when we come back with Kerrilyn. Talk about, well, what happens when you do call? If you're going to come in, what do you expect? What's going to happen? Is it one meeting free, or is it a couple meetings free? I mean, how does it play out? Because first they've got to learn about you. Then they've got to say, okay, here's what they really need. Let's devise a plan. And then they'll go over the plan with you. And then it's your choice. Do you like this plan? Do you think it makes sense? Yeah, I want to be a client. Or maybe you go, yeah, okay, I don't think I like that, but I like parts of that. I'm going to take it to my advisor. Rick will say that at times as well. But you think about it, the risk you're taking, is it the right amount? Is it too much? Is it not enough? What about the taxes? We know taxes are a challenge, certainly moving forward. Fees that you're paying, whether it's your 401k or IRAs or mutual funds or whatever, do you understand the fees you're paying? And how do the fees, because obviously Safeguard's got to make money, so how does that work? They will certainly tell you that. They're certainly transparent about all of that. Should you be moving money to the Roth world? What about income? How do we know how much we need? How do we figure that out? Long-term care, health care, all that stuff, and wealth strategies. That is what the Safeguard Investment Advisor Group is all about. How do they help you in all of those areas? And all you have to do to get started is just give them a call at 800-700-1980. No cost, no obligation, no pressure. 800-700-1980. Have the pleasure today to talk with Kerrilyn Collins, the Marketing Director at Safeguard Investment Advisor Group. More with Kerrilyn right after this.
You're listening to the Big Picture Retirement Show with Rick Rivera. For more information about Rick and the Safeguard Investment Advisory Group team, go to safeguardinvestment.com. While you're there, you can also download educational retirement guides and sign up for an upcoming seminar. That's safeguardinvestment.com. Now, back to the podcast.
Welcome back to the Big Picture Retirement Show. Today, with the Marketing Director of Safeguard Investment Advisor Group, stepping in for Rick Rivera today is Kerrilyn Collins, in her third year with the team, just out of college, Cal Baptist in Riverside, 2020 grad. She can also help you with fashion, right? You can come in and get some fashion advice, right, Kerrilyn?
Yeah, I've complimented plenty of clients on their outfits. We've talked about where to shop, so
there you
I'm
go.
there for that too.
There you go. Again, if you want to find out more about the team, it's safeguardinvestment.com, safeguardinvestment.com. Find out about seminars and the like. We'll talk about those in this segment as well. But you can always find out what's coming up, what's being offered, where the 6 offices in California that Safeguard has. Right now, Rick and Reed and Kerrilyn typically are in the Corona office, but there's San Diego, there's Sacramento, there's Roseville? Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What am I missing?
Well, there's San Diego, Sacramento and Roseville are the same thing. It's
Okay.
Corona, San Diego, Roseville, Escondido, this 6 office is really tripping me up. There's Corona, Escondido, San Diego, Sacramento, Oxnard, and Santa Barbara.
Okay, there we go. 6 offices. But
Yeah.
Rick typically is in the Corona office. So we talk about, if you call 800-700-1980, because you're like, boy, Rick talks about a lot of things on the show about retirement planning that I've not really thought about. I've not really considered. I think we've got enough. I hope we've got enough. I just don't know if we do. Perfect time to call the team and come in and sit down with them. 800-700-1980. So when we do that, what happens?
Yeah, so when you call, no matter what office you're closest to, you're going to be speaking to Julie Scott. Julie's been here for, I think it's her 24th year this year. She has really been with the company since almost inception. And she's amazing. She'll be able to talk with you through your questions, get you connected with an advisor to get, whether it's a 15-minute phone call or you're coming into one of our offices or a Zoom appointment, whatever it may be. She'll be able to connect you to the advisor and be able to answer any preliminary questions you may have. And she's a very welcoming, she's my favorite person. So you're in good hands.
Okay, so once we set an appointment, let's say it's the Corona office. So where do we go? How does it work? You're not on the first floor, you're on the third floor. And
Yeah.
then once we get in there, sit down with Rick, for example, what happens?
Yeah. So I will say no matter what office you go into, you're going to be greeted by very kind, smiling faces. But let's say you're going to the Corona office. We are located off Temescal Canyon Road in Corona, in between Corona Crossings and Dos Lagos in the Lakeshore Plaza building. So you will drive up, you'll park your car in the Safeguard parking spaces right on the street side of the building, and you'll walk through our doors and you'll come to the elevators, which are pretty much in the middle of the hallway. You'll ride them to the third floor. You'll go out, and depending on what elevator you're on, you'll either go to your left or your right and walk through the double doors that say Safeguard Investment Advisory Group. And you'll be greeted by Caddy with a smiling face. She'll ask you what kind of drink you want. You'll be shown our drink menu. Do you want coffee? Do you want water? Room temp or cold? Do you want a cappuccino? Do you want a soda? And then she will let the advisor know you're here, and you'll be taken back to the office or the conference room. And for a 45-minute to 1 hour big picture meeting is what we like to call it. It's a consultation, no sales pitches, leave your checkbooks at home, conversation about who you are, where you're at with retirement, what are your goals, how do you want to get there. It's really just to get to know you as a person.
Because at the end of the day, there is not a cookie cutter approach to retirement. When you think about
No.
it, retirement planning team like Safeguard Investment Advisor Group, every big picture blueprint is going to be about whomever they're sitting down with, right?
Yeah. So the first meeting is what we like to say. If you notice, it's the Big Picture Retirement Show. Our seminar is called the Big Picture Workshop. The big picture meeting, it's all about looking at your retirement planning from the big picture holistic approach. So that first meeting really is diving into those 7 things that Mark listed out earlier: risk, taxation, fees, Roth conversion, income planning, long-term care, wealth transfer. Where are you at with all of those? And like he said, Rick does mention this, and all of our advisors do. No matter what, he'll probably be able to give you 2 strategies that you can implement for free on your own that will enhance what you're already doing. From there, if you decide to move forward from that meeting, we'll take your statements, your documents, we'll look at everything you have, where you're at with your investments, and we'll create a big picture blueprint analysis for you, which we'll then present to you in the second meeting.
And I think that's one of the differences, a point of difference that Safeguard brings to the table. When you walk in, and let's say, I don't know, let's just say you had $1 million. They're not thinking, okay, well, I wonder how we could invest that. How can we do this? They don't know have any idea what you need. So that's really where it starts. It doesn't matter what you have. It's what do you need? What are you going to do in retirement? That's the big picture, right? And that's kind of the fun part of it, I would think, listening to people tell the stories and clients that have been there for a long time, because we're seeing more and more people, instead of leaving money behind, they're like, hey, let's take the family on a trip to Hawaii. Let's take a trip to there. Let's create lasting memories while we are still here, instead of just leaving them some money.
Yeah, and I think, Mark, too, that's one of the biggest things that I love about our office is working with a fiduciary. And Rick talks about this in the workshop. Is you go to a typical broker or financial planner that isn't a fiduciary. So one, they're on the side of the institution, they're looking out for their pocketbook, not yours. And they basically say, how much do you have? Where is it? Let's move it. And Rick says, shouldn't there be more to it than that? And that really is so true, because let's say you're in retirement and you've already traveled a bunch, you just want to stay home with the grandkids. Your plan, your inflation rate, your income rate is going to look a lot different than the guy who's saying, I want to take all these trips. I want to spend it before it's gone. I want to enjoy this time with my family, go on cruises. Your inflation rate, your income withdrawal rate, all of that is going to look so different. So it really is so important to sit down with somebody who's going to look at all these different aspects and what you believe about money, how you think about money, what you want to do in retirement, and make a plan according to that.
So again, it's 800-700-1980 if you'd like to chat with the team at Safeguard Investment Advisory Group, 800-700-1980. Just ask for Rick Rivera, and you're good to go, 800-700-1980. Let's finish the final couple minutes out, Kerrilyn, with the seminars you mentioned. Those, I suppose, are on the website. I'm sure you cover a lot of different topics on those.
Yeah. So if you go to our website, safeguardinvestment.com, you're going to come across the top menu, and one of those menu items will be attend an event. If you click that, you're going to see all of our upcoming events for any office location. And if you're not local to an office location, if you go to the menu item that says Retirement Toolkit, you will be able to get our webinar, which is done by Reed Aberdeen. It's basically our seminar wrapped up into a 30 to 40 minute webinar. It's great content. There's also additional resources out there for you that you'll be able to see and learn more about who we are and things to look out for in retirement planning.
And same thing with the meetings. The seminar is no cost typically either, correct?
Correct. Yeah. The seminar is absolutely free. It's complimentary. It's pretty much a learning experience for you as a pre-retiree or retiree. It's what are these financial concerns that many retirees have? What are some problems that we have now looking at 5 to 10 years in the future? What are some things that may come up and what are potential solutions or strategies for those? And there's some really great things that a lot of people are mind blown that they've never heard about, whether that's Roth conversions. We have something called the STEP Targeted Equity Plan or program that talks about saving money on taxes and also earning more income in retirement. And all of that is also on our YouTube channel as well and in the webinar. So I'm not an advisor. I can't go too much into the business side of it, but there really are amazing strategies that many people aren't knowing about because they're almost too good to be true.
Yeah, and Kerrilyn mentioned the toolkit. If you would like to get the toolkit, which includes the retirement guides plus about a 30-minute webinar by Reed, it's kind of what you see when you go to seminars to a degree, but it kind of gives you an idea of what Safeguard's all about. All you have to do is text the word toolkit to 951-667-4969. You get the retirement guides, you get the webinar, so you get some insight into Safeguard Investment Advisory Group. 951-667-4969. Just text the word toolkit. And if you want to sit down with a team, again, I think this is an easier number to remember. It's 800-700-1980. You can also call that number and say, hey, can I get the toolkit? Kerrilyn and the team take care of you there. 800-700-1980. It's about you. Can the team at Safeguard help you? And as Rick always says, give him 45 minutes. He'll give you 2 ideas that will enhance whatever it is you are currently doing. There's no cost for that either. Kerrilyn, appreciate you being on the program. We might just boot Rick out of the chair as we move forward.
Yeah, I'm convinced I should be doing this full time. He can take my job.
Exactly. Thanks for your time.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks for being with us today for the Big Picture Retirement Show. Rick Rivera. He'll be back next week.
Firm offers insurance services. Safeguard Investment Advisory Group, LLC is a registered investment advisory firm. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Any references to protection, safety, or lifetime income generally refer to fixed insurance products, never securities or investments. Insurance guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims-paying abilities of the issuing carrier. This radio show is intended for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be used as the sole basis for financial decisions, nor should it be construed as advice designed to meet the particular needs of an individual's situation. Safeguard Investment Advisory Group, LLC is not permitted to offer, and no statement made during this show shall constitute tax or legal advice. Our firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any governmental agency. The information and opinions contained herein provided by third parties have been obtained from sources believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed by Safeguard Investment Advisory Group, LLC.